All right, guys, I just wanted to give you guys an update as to what's going on with Colorado football. Of course, if you guys are keeping up with the team, you guys are already up to date with it. But you guys, I'm always gonna give you guys my own perspective and my own analysis of what's going on. So some of the things that I'm going to share with you right now are not going to be things that you don't know about. So this actually is an article from Buff Zone. It came out December 9th. I'm going to read it. It says football recruiting, Colorado Buffs add 5 transfers, including 4 experienced linemen. And that's the key here, experienced linemen. If you want to establish a strong line, you have to get men or guys that are young men that are experienced. And it's one thing to have the talent and the potential, but then there's no substitute for experience. Experience is the best teacher. And if you have talented offensive linemen with experience, that actually adds to your potential of of having a good line. Okay, the article reads, it says Colorado head coach Deion Sanders promised an offensive line overhaul and is delivering on Saturday. 4 starting linemen from FBS teams committed to the Buffaloes, as well as a veteran receiver. So that's a good thing. Center Yakuri Walker from Connecticut, guards Tyler Johnson, Houston, and Justin Myers from UTEP, and tackle Khalil Benton from Indiana, all announced their verbal commitments to Colorado University. Also, former North Carolina State receiver Terrell Timmons Jr. announced his decision to transfer to the Buffs. Colorado University struggled up front all season, allowing a school record 56 sacks. Again, you know my contention with that. Yes, that's factual, but there's a reason why he was sacked 56 times. You're too predictable. While also having the worst rushing offense in the country, they didn't attempt to run the ball. And here I'm gonna read to you guys something that I wrote. The reason why I want to read it is because I don't want to forget or skip out on any words that I wrote down. There's a difference between run blocking and pass blocking. Pass blocking requires more skill, and that's what Coach Prime is desiring for his linemen to have. He wants strong men to be in the trenches, but strong men who can push the line back is a line that's predicated on establishing a running game. So if you want to establish your running game, you need those big dogs, like he likes to talk about the dogs, to push back on people, to open up those holes. But if you're talking about protecting your son Shador so he can have the greatest stats ever, so he can be in the talks of winning a Heisman Trophy, then you're going to need linemen that are skilled. There's a certain degree of technique that's required to pass block versus run blocking. There's a difference. And I'm going to continue reading here. It says, see you struggle. Okay. At one point, Sanders expressed frustration by saying, the big picture, you go get you linemen. That's the picture, and I'm going to paint it perfectly. So right now, Coach Prime is painting the picture perfectly the way he sees it. But perfection is all predicated on who's beholding the vision. His perfection may be someone else's imperfection. So it's just the way you're viewing your perfect portrait. Whatever you're trying to draw, whatever you're viewing it to be, whatever you want it to be, whatever you are trying to create it to be, that picture of perfection that he's trying to paint, we'll see if it actually is perfect. But again, it's all subjective, and it's all predicated on who's viewing that portrait, because someone could be looking at a painting and think that the painting is ugly, and someone else could look at it and think that it's a work of art. So it just depends. The big picture, you get new linemen. That's the picture that I'm going to paint. I'm going to paint it perfectly. That process is well underway. So that process of painting that picture is underway as he's getting these new linemen that are coming in, and that's a good thing. They're experienced, and we'll see if it's going to improve the offensive line play for Colorado Buffaloes in the next football season. Continuing with the article, it says, according to Pro Football Focus, the 4 linemen who committed Saturday have given up a combined 8 sacks on 2,962 pass blocking snaps over the past 2 seasons. That's a good number. They've only given up 8 sacks, and Shador was sacked 56 times. And you got to understand, they've had 2,962 pass blocking snaps over the past 2 seasons. That's a good number. They've also gotten combined 76 career starts at the FBS level, so that experience factor is key. Johnson, listed at 6'5", 320 pounds, was 2-year starter at Houston. This past season, he started all 12 games for the Cougars at left guard, playing 661 total snaps. He had a total grade of 65.7 by PFF, including a pass blocking grade of 80. In 2022, he made 10 starts at right guard. His PFF pass blocking grade was 87.6, was sixth nationally among guards, and he was named to PFF's All-American Athletic Conference third team. So it seems like his numbers were better last year than they were this year. It says he had a total grade of 65.7. A PFF include, yeah, that's what he had this past year. But in 2022, the year before that, he had 87.6. According to PFF, he allowed one sack in 2022 and one in 2023. So he still had good years. I don't know how the rating system goes, the metric of what makes one 65.7 and what makes another one 87. But in terms of how many sacks he gave up one in 1 year and then gave up one in another year. So that's a good thing. He's only given up 2 sacks in 2 years. That's a good thing. A 4-star recruit coming out of Oak Ridge, Texas High School in 2019, Johnson played for 3 seasons at Texas. He made just 1 appearance for the Longhorns, however, starting against Colorado University in the Alamo Bowl and logging 61 snaps. Benton was Indiana's starting right tackle. Now this is the Indiana right tackle. And everyone talks about the importance of a left tackle, but a right tackle is also important as well. Every position on the line is important. Benton was Indiana's starting right tackle for all 12 games this season. The 6'6", 310-pounder from South Haven, Mississippi, was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school in 2020 and chose the Hoosiers over 10 other schools. This season, Benton allowed 1 sack according to PFF. He played in 12 games in 2022 with 5 starts at guard. He missed the 2020 season with a torn ACL and did not appear in any games in 2021. He's got 2 seasons of eligibility remaining. So this is a guy that has something to prove. Watch out for athletes like this that had injuries, that had setbacks. But even with those injuries and setbacks, they still have playing experience. So that's actually a good thing. Myers, listed at 6'3", 309, was All-Conference USA honorable mention the past 2 seasons at UTEP, starting all 24 games for the Miners at left guard. According to PFF, he has allowed just 2 sacks in the past 2 seasons combined, posting pass blocks ratings of 82.5 in 2022 and 84.1 this year. So his pass blocking rating is off the charts. It's in the 80s. That's a good thing. From Frisco, Texas, Myers spent 5 seasons at UTEP. He redshirted in 2019 and played in 11 games over the next 2 seasons as a reserve. One thing I like about these recruits that are coming in, or these transfers, is the amount of experience that they have. These are older college athletes. 2019, we're in 2023. He redshirted. Most guys their age are in the NFL, but so that means that they're going to have grown men in there. Or I should say men that are growner, if that makes any sense. You have the younger youth that are coming out of high school. You have the younger athletes, and you have the older ones. These ones are older, and they have experience, and that bodes well for Colorado. So that these are good signs. These are good things that are going to be happening for Colorado. Hopefully, it materializes itself on the football field. Walker, who is from DeSoto, Texas High School, has played 3 seasons at UConn. He redshirted in 2021 and played 37 snaps in 2022 before winning a starting job this past season. On Thursday, Colorado University landed a commitment from the #1 prep tackle prospect in the country, Jordan Seedan. I made a video about that. You guys saw that. Jordan Seedan. He was on the Undisputed show, and he was debuted on there, and that's where he revealed what school he was going to be committed to. So you guys are well aware of Jordan Seedan, and he's the young pup. So it's great. It's a mixture of old and young, so he can actually learn from those veterans, from those older college guys who have more experience on the college level than he does. Colorado University is losing just 1 primary lineman, guard London Beebe, to graduation, but starting left tackle Gerard Christian Littlehan and center Van Wells have gone into the transfer portal to seek other opportunities. So right now, if you ask me, the offensive line has had an upgrade. Just off of the numbers alone of what those other guys have accomplished and what we saw the guys for Colorado accomplish this year, I would say from an objective eye that the transfers that are coming in terms of the offensive line, the blockers, they have an upgrade there. So it's an upgrade. So what Coach Prime was seeking, he's actually getting that. So that's a good thing. The 6 foot Colorado, what did I leave off here at? Okay. The 6'2", 190-pound Timmons comes to Colorado University after playing a backup role at NC State. So I think that they're talking about the receiver. 6'2", 190-pound Timmons comes to Colorado University after playing a backup role at NC State as a sophomore this year. He played in all 12 games with one start, catching 11 passes for 195 yards. In 2022, Timmons played in 9 games as a true freshman, catching 3 passes for 79 yards and a touchdown. A 3-star recruit coming out of Northern Guilford, North Carolina High School. In 2022, Timmons is the cousin of Los Angeles Chargers receiver Keenan Allen. All right. So those are the recruits that are coming, that are coming. And I'm going to do another video to break down the difference between pass blocking and run blocking. It seems like Coach Prime is getting players that are going to be good pass blockers to protect his son. But again, if the team is too pass heavy again, then you put in more strain and stress on your offensive line, because your offensive schemes become predictable, which makes it easier for defenses to scheme against, which makes your son more highly susceptible of being sacked again and again. So we'll see how that bodes well for Colorado this next season. I'm going to make another video to break down the differences between pass blocking and run blocking. Thank you guys for listening. All right, bye.